I just want to first of all welcome you to being here, and I want to welcome you to the Everything Pass, and I want to welcome you to me. I'm feeling really, really good lately. Aside from working out and connecting, and my daughter is starting to walk. Yesterday, she walked across the living room and then walked back. So she's almost a year old, and it's amazing. And she's so adorable and just beautiful and perfect. And that's been really exciting. And we've also been doing this incredible thing with an intimate group of people where I'm working with 50 people for 6 months, where every single weekday morning, I'm working with this group of people. And I wake up now, I go to bed at like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and all of these people, 50 people, and I go on a Zoom call at 6:30 a.m. Pacific time almost every morning. And we had our 8th call today. And I have to say that the amount of things that have happened in the people have already changed them. Like, we're already going, I can't believe there's 25 more weeks of this. But I only say this aside for, well, that's already done, although it's going so well that we're thinking of opening another 50 people. It's just amazing, honestly. It really is, because, and I'll tell you about that, and I'll tell you all that too. But I just want to share a little bit. Doing a little bit of the work every day is so big. You know, we usually do full immersions, right? You go to a 2 or 3 day event, you do this thing, and that's kind of, it's amazing and it's immersion, but it's kind of like going to the gym for 3 days at 10 hours a day and really changing your body and just being so amazing, and then leaving it, right? And then you're kind of going back to that thing. So to force yourself to do a little bit every day is the same as going to the gym for an hour or 2 hours a day for 6 months. So we're all experiencing this crazy exponential, yeah, Sylvia's one of the people. It's really amazing. So it's just been this crazy exponential thing. And I am shocked by how much I'm loving it. I'm shocked by how much I'm changing from it. It's really crazy to start your day doing work, coming out of it, then going back into the house, and like suddenly I'm driven and I'm Kalegoing with my family, and I'm, you know, meditating more. And it's so early that I'm doing something that I really, really love. And that's, I'm going to bed with the sun. I really do go to bed much more in alignment with the sun. And this is so fascinating because it's been a massive revelation to me that if we didn't invent electricity, we'd all be going to bed early. And it's after we go dark that we do our most egoic things, the things that we regret, the too much partying, the overbuying the food, the drinking, the sex with the wrong person. That often is way after dark. And we're the only species that doesn't listen to nature. And if you notice, most of the egoic, crazy mistakes we make, or things that we later regret or don't want to do, are often after dark. And when we do that, we also miss when the sun comes up. And because of that, that when the sun is coming up, that always seems to be this time. If you're waking up when the sun is coming up and you had like 7 or 8 hours of sleep, do you notice how when you go out in the morning, if you go for a walk or go for an early jog, or you're just like more connected to the now, you're more connected to the universe. It's like you're ahead of the game. And you get like this 3 or 4 hours of self-connection and just being in your body and being connected to your soul. That's what happens at that time. Even when you go for a walk at 7 a.m., you'll find someone else walking and you'll talk to them. You'll talk to a stranger, hi, how are you? Or you'll pick up litter or do these other things. If you go to bed at 1 in the morning and you end up waking up at 10 a.m. or something like that, you end up waking up and you're behind everything. You wake up and there's 10 texts in your phone. So you immediately wake up and you put yourself in a place of lack. And that is why I believe that more and more, one of the biggest changes that's just made this whole thing worth it is it's forcing me to go to bed early. And I just want to throw that out there, because if you just want to start changing your life, I have to say, I find that I'm sleeping deeper, even though I wake up at 6 a.m., sometimes 5:30 I'm waking up now. but I sleep deeper. I sleep in a different way because it's like I'm going to bed with the sun. So the people in my life that also are my more egoic, partyish friends are less in my life now. And the more soul-based people that I'm finding are waking up early are more in that alignment too. So that's just a thought that I just wanted to share because I'm now on the second week of that and it's amazing. There's already a wait list for if we opened up another one, but I'm so in love with this and I'm so in the pocket at the end of it that I'm talking to the team about opening one more up in September at 7:30 and doing a 7:30 to 8:30. So if you are interested in being in that wait list, I wasn't even planning to mention this, but I am seeing you guys asking about it. If you guys are interested in being in the wait list, if we open that up, write info at Kyle Cease. It's the most work I've ever done for people, and for myself. Committing for 6 months. I've never kept and decided to keep working with people for 6 months. And I can't tell you how many things are already different. So in this, let me tell you something. They're working with me one-on-one also. I'm watching a video that they all make and assess, where they are. They have the option of doing the one-on-one alone or on a podcast with me, so they can actually do it and then advertise their business or whatever. And the other thing is, at the end, the group of 50 also will do a 4-day event with me. And so it is totally taking care of itself over and over and over again. It's the most work I've ever put into anything. It's the most work our team have ever put in. I mean, we're all working our ass off. Right now, we're pairing. Let me tell you what we're doing. Right now, this week, we're pairing people up with someone, and they're getting a lesson from me for an hour. And literally every day for the next 3 weeks, they're Kalegoing for an hour a day. Now, we have done different things in the last week. We've written, thank you letters to 12 people from our life and changed our vibration there. We've looked into our mirrors and said things that we appreciate about ourselves. This changes your vibration. These things are changing vibration. And I say that because even if you're not doing that, how easy it is to literally change the cellular memory in your body of who you are. And when we just do something different that we used to do, you immediately undo yourself from the prison of the belief system of the old story that you think you are. So if you wake up early and you start meditating, or you Kalego, or you do anything, you already start doing the things that take care of all the issues that you think you have in your life, right? So for instance, if you think my problem is I'm a people pleaser, or I'm too controlling, or I'm too whatever, no, that's actually not the problem. The problem is that you think you are those things because you've never left the programming of what you think you are. So if you do work like the meditation every day for a long time, if you're doing the Kalego, whatever, your old story will slowly but surely, from a foundation-based place, fall off of you. And you will start to realize these different things. And one thing that came up today that was so fascinating, I've been thinking of all day, is this idea where we say, I gotta trust more. I have a hard time trusting. Okay, so if you're asking about the thing, Lindsay put a link up. Kara put a link up, the Oh My God wait list. So if you guys are interested, maybe you could post that once more, Kara, for people that are asking about it. When you, what was I saying? Oh, there's a thing people say where they say, I got to learn how to trust myself more. I gotta trust myself more. I gotta trust more. Now, let me tell you something that'll kind of blow your mind. You can't ever choose to trust something. Just play with this for a minute. Your nervous system will either experience something as true and move to knowing it's safe or not. If I hold this lid up, I don't trust when I let go of it that it will fall. I know it'll fall. But if I say, okay, I'm going to trust that you're going to stay up there, that's not going to happen. So we get into relationships and we go, okay, I'm going to trust you, but you don't trust them, right? You still have your nervous system, and that's not something that you can mentally change. Your nervous system still needs to experience doing something so that it can see that it's safe. So for instance, until you skydive, you will never trust that you are safe skydiving, no matter how many ways you mentally look at it. And because we're doing this stuff every morning, which you can do in different ways anyway, alone too, you do something every single day, your nerves start to see that they're safe, and you move from trusting that you're fine to just knowing, and it becomes normal. I say that because the Absolutely Everything Pass is full of so many different exercises and things that you can do to know that you're safe. So every time you feel something that expands you, and I'm going to totally answer questions here all over on here because I love doing this. Everything in your body that expands you, if it expands you, it's going to feel both really exciting and horrifying because it's bigger than your nervous system has ever experienced. And you're going to, so if you have something that expands, so for instance, Kalegoing or doing something for 6 months or quitting a job that doesn't excite you, or letting go of a relationship that you've been in for 10 years, but you can feel in your body doesn't expand you, or asking someone out that you could see would be amazing, but knowing you might get rejected. All of these are exciting because could you imagine if that happened? For me, it could be moving to the Dolby Theater from the Alex Theater. How the hell are we going to fill a 3,000 seat theater, right? My body didn't trust, but my mind said go into it, and my body had to acclimate into it. Are you with me? So my body had to acclimate into it. My body had to know that it's safe. So your nervous system is a different thing than your mind. So how many times have you heard something, even that I've said or a different speaker said, or you just heard someone say and thought, I know that intellectually, but usually you don't make moves from what you know intellectually. You make moves from what your nervous system is protecting you from. So for some people, I might know intellectually that I'm bigger than this job, but my nervous system is just seeing what it will lose. So I'm going to stay in it. So we're moving from our nervous system versus what we know intellectually. And when we take what we know intellectually and we move into it, then we stay in it. The nervous system craps its pants because it's never done this before. And then eventually it sees that this is the truth and it stays in it. So for some people, it could be, I don't know, going on a juice fast or meditating 2 hours, right? I can't meditate for 2 hours. People think I can't meditate for 2 hours. No, you haven't. So your nervous system is talking. Of course you can just sit and close your eyes for 2 hours, right? But if you do that, if you sit for 2 hours, by the end, your nervous system sees that it's still alive and it becomes a little bit closer to normal. So the only way you end up trusting something is by walking into it even when your body doesn't trust it. So we need to move to a place where it's not, oh my God, could you guys imagine if I did that? But it's normal. And the Absolute Everything Pass is a place where you can start to make it normal for you to immerse yourself with content, for you to immerse yourself with possibilities, for you to ask me questions. I'm going to be doing a call like this every single month for us to flood you with more and more stuff and exercises. And I move exponentially. So I'm going to have so many different things for you, like ways to create a new income or an impact on the world or health. This is what I'm going to be spending my energy on. And many, many different things that we do, we're going to be filming them beautifully. And instead of charging thousands of dollars for a product, it'll just show up for free on it. And I guarantee you in a couple of years, we will have so much stuff that you can pick from. And you just feel off. You're going, why am I always going broke in this thing? Boom, you click on the money section and there will be a ton of new things that you can do different. Why am I always out of alignment in my relationship? Boom, you click on the relationship. Why? Because we, in doing the work, are discovering an infinite amount of content because I'm forcing myself to wake up at 6:30 every morning. So because of that, I'm so in the pocket that we're talking about mid-September starting at 7:30. But this is that thing. It's just me going, I just want to work. So today I Kalegoed with my family. I Kalegoed with Christy and our doula and Vivi. She wasn't as good at it yet. She just kind of said ma, 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 and not dada. So we Kalegoed, and guess what happened? Within a half an hour, my body said, cancel Netflix. It just said, on my highest vibration, I don't want Netflix. And then I literally started thinking about me without it, right? What would I become then? Then I declared to the family, okay, only noon to 1 for the rest of the year will I be on social media, only from noon to 1. Now my nervous system is freaking out. Well, you got to be able to talk to people. And my mind can see, and a deeper place in my body can feel, what would I do with all that extra energy? What would I do with that free time? You know, if you think of you and the time you're spending as you're a warehouse, okay? When you're sitting here and you're filling your warehouse with chasing mediocre love and approval, flipping through Facebook all day, hoping your parents understand you, right? I know the warehouse was what we came up with on the call. Someone said a warehouse, and now we're going to make that a sketch, and I'm going to cast the people on the call in it. So if you are a warehouse, let's say you want to have the ultimate life, you want the ultimate furniture in your warehouse, your furniture warehouse. Well, if you're doing this through Facebook, you're filling the warehouse with very average connection. This is something we also talked about on the call. So let's say you have this crappy, this doesn't feel that good, but it feels like enough for you to get by in the moment. We can't feel connection until we get rid of the crappy furniture, right? In other words, you can't get good furniture in a limited space warehouse until you get rid of the crappy furniture. And in the same way, you can't experience deep-rooted spiritual connection if you're filling your time and your mind with flipping through Facebook, watching Netflix, or whatever else. So I like to do these things where I declare something, and then my new thing is to declare something for a long time. This 6-month thing is really exciting the shit out of me. To do something for 6 months will change the entire circulation of my nervous system, my entire body, everything. So I'm like, I'm going to do this for 6 months. That puts me in a position where it excites me because I'll create constant, gradual change. And for me in that place, then I'm going to go to bed earlier. I'm going to be more healthy. I'm going to go to bed quieter, more meditative, and bring an even more of a knowing onto the calls, right? Onto these calls, onto the things I answer. I am here to be in my greatest, and I can't make the world better, and I can't make myself better if I linger in the old stories. I'm here to bring the greatest me to the planet. And if I end up sitting in a rocking chair on my deathbed and look back and all I see is me flipping through Facebook, or even mainly flipping through Facebook and saw that, I'm not going to be thrilled, and I'm not going to regret it. I'm not going to be mad, but I just wonder what the hell I got going on here. And I have that with you. I have that with every person I see. I want to know what you're capable of. And I don't mean like in motivation terms that you're supposed to get ambitious and blah, blah, blah. I just mean what happens if you slowly remove, gently, the things in your life that are average, that are just enough. What happens if you remove? It makes your ego feel lazy, to Donna. Donna says, I struggle with allowing. It makes me feel lazy. I just want to throw on the idea that it makes your ego feel lazy. You get what I'm saying? Your old story feels lazy. Well, you're so lazy you didn't have the S in yes. So you're like, Y-E. I don't got time for S, send. So imagine if it's not laziness as much as it's changing the channel. Because we have trained ourselves, for Donna or Danya, maybe, we have trained ourselves that if we don't end the day feeling massive, overworked exhaustion, then it wasn't a day well lived. If we did not work our ass off and we come home, and to me, that's actually a sign that you're working against the grain. And what I want to just remind you and offer you is that just sitting and doing nothing is doing more than massive ambition from a place of fixing, from a place of ego, right? So when you're in a place of just being, and I mean being without the phone, one of the things they did on the call last week was they sat in nature for, I think it was an hour 15, and you couldn't bring your phone with you. I want to dare you guys to do that. Your real truth of you, when you don't interrupt it, is so clear. All the stories of what you thought you were just have to leave if you're alone with yourself and you don't distract yourself from it, right? When people go, well, I get all nervous or I have this belief system. No. You just keep feeding it. You keep feeding it with the Facebook and the Twitter and the Instagram and the Netflix and the friends that make you supported in your ego versus your soul. You have to feed it. You have to feed it by watching the news or getting mad about a politician, or you have to feed the ego. It needs fuel. You can't just sit in nature for 2 months and not have this total awareness and this release and this crying out and then be totally free. And you're the warehouse, and the old stories when you sit in nature try to leave your body. And the pain that you're in is you're judging that they're trying to leave because you think that you're the couch when you're the awarehouse. And your job as the awarehouse is to, first of all, realize you're the awarehouse. Remember, we're calling it the awarehouse, not the old couch. So when you feel this pain coming out, that's because you think you're the couch. And you go, I'm the old story that says I'm not enough. I'm the person that's the bad parent that thinks I'm a piece of shit. I'm the person who says who I am is this relationship and the relationship's trying to change. I'm judging this. And that's you keeping your doors shut and stopping flow from happening. And remember, a pond, when it's stagnant, it's full of mosquitoes and moss. And then a river, no mosquitoes are living on because it moves like this. You need to let flow come in and out. And your job is to remember you're the warehouse. And your job is to open the doors in the front of the warehouse and the back of the warehouse and watch what happens. Watch how the universe has professional movers that will come and just pull the couch out. My old couch is cemented to the floor. It's our judgment of it that cements it. So check this out. Here's another thing we did from the 6-month calls. Accepting the things that you're used to resisting. This is really hard to do. But what keeps something there is you resisting it. And if you accept the truths that you're scared to look at, they can start to leave. So people were accepting, I accept that I don't know if this relationship could last. I accept that I don't know what people think about me. I accept that people might not like me. Like I accept, okay, this was so big, and it got to a point where Christy, my fiance, even said, I accept that I can't protect our daughter Vivi all the time. Now she started crying, released the overprotective part of herself. Are you with me? And actually was so much more centered that she actually could protect Vivi more. So when we accept that you might not get to be with that person, you accept that you're broke, then this new level of consciousness can show up and actually help you move past it. It comes up in a higher thing. I accept that I don't have control of how many followers I have. I accept that whatever it is. But most of us are already at war with something before we accept it, which is you facing it and looking at it over and over from a response that keeps it at the same level of consciousness that forces it to be there. Because if you don't accept that you are scared of what people think about you, then you'll go and fix it and drive people crazy and make them not like you, right? So if you don't accept what your mom thinks about you, you're going to go spend your whole life trying to prove to her how much you're amazing or whatever. So there's things you just can't control. And if you just say, I accept it, And the number one thing you can't control that you could just accept is everything you're feeling and thinking right now. I accept that I'm in pain. I accept that I feel free. So take a second, everybody, and write the things that you have been having a hard time with or resisting. I accept maybe what Donald Trump has said lately. I accept what this politician said. I accept things that are going on in the world, and say I accept it. Now you might go, what if I don't accept it? Then you're actually keeping it going. Because there's a you that can build solutions when it's not in its head at war with what is. Because it's not the situation you're in argument with. It's a thought in your head. It's you. You're thinking of what your dad thinks of you inside you and arguing with your own thoughts. Isn't that crazy? So I accept that I don't have air conditioning. Yeah. So immediately that frees you. I accept that I'm irresponsible with money. I accept that I drive my son crazy. I accept my dissatisfied mood and my soon-to-be homelessness. Wow. So take that in for a minute. That sounds like a thing like, oh, she's going to be homeless with that. No, she's not saying I accept it so that I can go be it. But you might notice how much that idea owns you until you accept it, right? I accept that women as a group may be more vulnerable. Oh, and maybe that's a place of power too. Vulnerability is a powerful thing. I accept that I'm okay being alone for it to allow me to connect deeply with me. Oh, yes, because alone has nothing to do with how many people are around you. It has to do with, are you in war with yourself in the moment right now? That's what alone is. I think that this shouldn't be happening, is where alone comes in, because in that moment, you're disconnected from the universe. You're disconnected from life. You're disconnected from love. I accept that it's been hard to let go of some old friendships that don't serve me any longer. Beautiful. And you can even just also say, I accept that these old friendships don't serve me any longer, right? And that might change your perspective of them, where you don't need them in the same way, and they can fall apart and then regroup themselves without the attachment. Think about that. You can let go of something and then get back together. If you want a relationship to work, many people in good relationships know the way that we've been has to fall apart over and over and over again. And we have to rebuild from a new place, because often we get addicted to the methods and the old ways, right? I accept my roommate's behavior and attitude. Awesome. Now, that doesn't mean if they're shitty to you that you keep it going, but that does mean you're going to stop giving your mental power to them and can make a decision from love and not fear for yourself. I accept my patient's diagnosis. Excellent. That's tough, right? Now, how much better of a space could you be if you accept that? And you can show them that there's a space of unconditional love that they can be in their diagnosis that maybe even will help them through that, right? I accept that I might be too intense for some people. Yeah, I accept that, because then you won't be apologizing for who you are, and you'll have the real friends that love you in your intensity, in your calmness, whatever. I accept that I have no control over my mom's addiction. I accept that I have no control over what others think of me. Doesn't that free you? Because you're not here to control your mom's condition. You're here to be a space of love for your mom, right? And the people that think and judge you, they need you to be in your amazingness to show them a place of lack of judgment and unconditional love, right? Someone that might judge Mr. Rogers at the beginning eventually will go, wow, I didn't realize you were that amazing. And by the way, everyone needs to go see the Mr. Rogers movie that's out right now. I accept that I have no control over the outcome of my job contract. I accept that I've put on weight. That is beautiful, because you're not going to change the weight until you're okay with it. And you might not even need to change it. Maybe you can actually find a place that loves you even more. And maybe when you finally love yourself even more, maybe as a byproduct, you won't be against yourself, so you won't do addictive things like overeat, right? All of this is all in there. I accept that I'm afraid of tomorrow's afternoon meeting with divorce mediator and my husband's reaction to what happens there. Great. Now, here's another thing that's come up on those calls. Check this out. Everything that you have coming up that you're worried about, and you get in your head and go, what do I do about that? Anything that you're worried about later is not a sign that you need to fix the thing later. It's a sign of one thing, that you're not accepting right now. Because the only thing you have is right now. And you have a choice Do I accept right now or not? And when you get in your head, that's because you're habitually not accepting the moment. If you're in war with the moment, you'll be in your head and in the future. But you can just decide right now, my entire circumstance is this. My money, my friends, what people think of me, my mom, my life, my health is exactly this. Do I argue with it and go into a fixing out of fear, or do I accept it right now? And when people go, how do I get in the moment later? You're going into the future. The only way you can get in the moment later is by getting in the moment now and getting in the moment now. And then you have something coming up in your body. Yeah, but I'm worried about this. Accept it. You're not accepting it so that it keeps happening. I don't mean accept it like let an abusive person in your life. I mean accept the truth of what is so you can find ways to love yourself on a new dimension and really change that situation from a dimension that you can't see when you're in fear. Can I fix out of love and not fear? Yes. Actually, you can't fix out of fear. Unless it's an actual life or death situation, like get out of the street, which your body intuitively knows how to do that, right? So you being in your head doesn't do that, right? If you're driving and you turn your head and you turn back and there's a car braked in front of you, your intuition stops it. But imagine if you knew a week before that that moment was coming for a week. You'd be in your head, how do I save my life? How do I do this? In fact, you'd probably dislodge the thing that actually knows how to take care of you. So you have a life-saving mechanism so you don't need to worry about fear. You're just dragging it into everything. Literally, you're bringing the life-saving mechanism into what people think about you, what your mom thinks of you, a situation that you're trying to control. You're bringing your fight or flight into other people's opinions, what Trump said, these things. And you can't even change the world and actually help people from a place of fear nearly as much as you can from a place of love. So let me ask you this. Anyone that wrote, I accept that I can't do anything with this, or I can't change this situation, or I accept that I feel this, have you guys felt anything different from saying that? Once you accept it, it starts to change right away. Just curious if anyone feels lighter. Excellent. Yes, I feel lighter, different. Isn't that crazy? Some people say, I feel weird. And the truth is you feel new and you feel unusual, but unusual is not bad. Uncertain isn't bad. I feel more peace, more hopeful. Weird, yeah. But our belief is that weird is bad. So know that when you feel uncertain and you go, wow, that's just new. I'm going to a new place. I'm accessing a different place in me. In that different place, maybe it will have new solutions. Maybe it will have possibilities. You're in a new location that has a new life. So your job every moment is to figure out a way to accept it, right? Do I accept this moment? Do I accept myself? So Christy says, no, still heartbroken. Do you accept that you're heartbroken, Christy? It'd be funny if that was Christy, my fiance. It's not the same Christy, but it'd be so funny if Christy, still heartbroken. I'm like, we're fine. But to this Christy, what if you accept you're heartbroken? Do you accept that you're still heartbroken fully? Are you bathing in the heartbrokenness? I've already lost the weight of this thought that grabbed me. Wow, yes, just from accepting it. That's what I've meant when I say, and I love that. Accepting it, right? So curious to Christy, who's still heartbroken, are you accepting heartbreak? Because heartbreak, awesome. What does that feel like to you? Just out of curiosity. Fully accepting it. Being a space for this thing. And is it heartbreak or is it expectation break? It's easy to accept when I'm watching you, Kyle. It's just so hard to maintain. That's a belief that comes from evidence of the past. That's how the mind works. Is it acceptable in the moment? It's not this giant mountain. So Christy says she's swimming in it right now. You're swimming in the heartbreak. Be there for the heartbreak because you're being there for a smaller you, a you that's leaving, that's trying to be seen. There's a little you inside that wants to be loved by the current you. So you be there and hear the heartbreak and be a space for it. And what's the heartbreak say? I feel abandoned. I feel sad. I feel lost. I feel possibility. Look how much everybody's loving you too. So we only have this moment. I can't breathe. Okay, so we got to accept that and stop everything and take a deep breath and be right here. So be right here because you're totally safe in this moment. So Christy, keep me updated on what you are. I wish I could see your face right now, but stop everything and take a deep breath right now. I know you can breathe somewhat because you wouldn't have been able to type that if you really couldn't. So are we accepting? And we only have this moment to accept, right? We only have this moment. So you're not going to go into the sad person. You're going to be there for the sad person. So you can feel the sadness, but also be the space that's looking at it. Learning to cry. Never was good at it. Excellent. There's heartbreak because you've been not letting yourself be seen because you haven't seen yourself. No one can break your heart. If you see yourself, your connection is to you. And your byproduct is a relationship will be someone who truly sees themselves on a level where they can see you too, right? So if you're in a place where you only see them and you don't see you, then they can make you feel like the only thing that loved you is gone. But you gotta love this part of you that needs to cry because it's normal to need to cry. It should be a part of us. It's a part of our life. And we've been trained that if you're crying, you need to get on something. You need to distract yourself. You should go get drunk. But man, your power is in that, letting yourself cry. So everybody that's watching, take a deep breath right now because there's just a you right now. And whatever you're feeling right now is a possibility. And those feelings of expansion are trying to come through. And you're bigger than the part of you that's sad. You're bigger than the part of you that's scared. You're bigger than that. And you'll find that power in this moment. When you go, how do I do that later? You're out of the moment. And that's a smaller part of you. That's a deflection. This moment can handle everything. Because the truth is you're just here sitting on a chair or sitting on your bed watching this. You're just here. And you're safe. And the person that you're heartbroken over, if you're talking about a relationship, is not here. But something feels abandoned or something feels gone. But you're here. So are they gone? What's different? You're sitting here. The truth is you're just sitting here. Awesome. Awesome. I'm so grateful that you're here. Burku, what a cool name. I'm so grateful this call today because I've been crying and feeling so stuck. Yes. So do you accept stuckness? Because all these feelings are just signs that you're not fully accepting the moment. I've gone years without crying and always thought crying was a weakness, learning that's not true. Yeah, crying is a strength. Do you notice the happiest people are also people that cry, and the people that try to prevent themselves from crying also prevent themselves from happiness? Fulfillment is not only just you being positive. Fulfillment is you being there for all of you. And the sad you and the part of you that feels abandoned by your parents through this relationship, you don't even miss that person. You just feel abandoned because of your relationship with your parents. And this person probably felt like a dad or something, or your safe space when you didn't feel safe in your childhood. So you feel abandoned, or you feel like you're not enough, or you create a meaning, and that person leaving has nothing to do with you, if that's what happened even. So I'm just making assumptions of what that is, but in a general sense, I mean that. You have to be able to cry. You're a human being, and that's part of being a human being. You have to be able to feel. And all these social media things and Netflix have been designed to stop you from feeling. And if you stop from feeling, you'll be smaller. And if you're smaller, you'll be more addictive. And if you're more addictive, you'll buy things you don't need. And you'll spend your time and your money on everything but your potential. I put down my Elvis, my boyfriend. My relationship is also ending. Sadder about my dog. Oh, you put down your dog. I'm so sorry. So, okay, so let's all, first of all, be a space for Christy, because that can be hard. And she's also, her relationship's ending. So there's a you that has been in connection to the dog and in the relationship. And that you has now graduated. And your job is to be a space for that you, because you're now moving to a new phase in your life. And you're here to look at and celebrate your dog and the relationship that you are in, and see it as a part of your life that you're allowing to come up. And you're just here. And you had a whole room of people here that are just a whole ton of rooms of people loving you. And I want to thank you for your honesty, because all of us know what loss feels like and can feel with you. And there's so much power and so much beauty, and you feeling that feminine flow energy of love for that you that needs to feel. And in honor of the dog and in honor of the relationship that you're graduating from and who you were in that time, you're actually saying not only goodbye to the relationship, but who you were in that relationship. But really, that makes you here for that you, right? So Christy, take a deep breath and feel you right here, and just be here for the sensations that are coming up. Be here connected to this thing that's beating your heart. Yeah, and think of it that way. We're always graduating, right? And if you graduate from 3rd grade and go to 4th grade, you're going to miss 3rd grade for a minute. But we don't know that it's normal to go to 4th grade. So most of us cling to 3rd grade for the rest of our life by staying in the job we don't want anymore, in the relationship we don't want anymore, whatever. Or that's just trying to end for us. So just feel, everyone just feel what you're feeling right now. And your expectations and your story and your past is wanting to come up. And you're here, and we're here holding space for you in that. And everyone be here for all your emotions, and Christy too. So Christy, how are you feeling right now? Are you doing okay? So I'm assuming Christy's feeling and crying. And your job, Christy, is to stay present with it also, so you feel it, and also take a deep breath and stay here and pay attention to the truth of the air going into your lungs, and then your organs are doing things, and you just have air touching your arms and your hands. So Layla says, disappointed in myself, and I just want to throw out, that's a judgment. That feeling might come up, but that's also a judgment. Awesome, Christy. So I want to thank you and honor your dog and the relationship that you're releasing, and just thank you for being kind of one of the subjects of our first call and being a space to remind us and feel on that level. And we're doing this call in honor of your dog and you, and dedicating it to that part of your life and dedicating it to you also in this moment. So Donna says, I'm such a fixer. How do you know the difference between thoughts that come from my fixing? Excellent question. And the thought that comes from my soul. The thoughts that come from fixing, yeah, I think that's what she said. Elvis is the dog's name. The thoughts that come from fixing show up in a fight or flight way. They show up in an explanation of why people are like this to you. They show up in a justification. They're immediately you in a place of fixing a circumstance. When you're in your soul, when you're in your heart, you're not fixing as much as you're doing things from a higher dimension, okay? So in your head, you're making a business run because you don't want to go broke. Absolutely. So much love to you, Christy. So in your head, you're trying to make a business run because you don't want to go broke. And that's why 90% of businesses fail, because most people are scared to go broke. So this is a fight or flight, fear-based mechanism trying to build a business, and that's never sustainable, okay? But what you will find is when you transcend your old fear-based beliefs and you move into a place of accepting as many of your circumstances as possible, what shows up are new possibilities, insights, a possibility that makes the world better. And accidentally, that'll just be something that impacts people and would be something that makes money, to give that as an example. Okay? So instead of trying to save a relationship that's trying to fall apart and being horrified that that person will leave you and fixing from a place of fear all day, what would happen if you just connected to you? One of a few things will happen. That person will either see you as safe and come back to you. That person will still leave and you'll make space for someone way better. You see what I'm saying? Or you'll just not align, whatever. But you being in your power, in your place of self-connection, has solutions that are on a higher channel, on a better place. And the more your time isn't spent fixing scenarios, and instead is letting the scenarios that are trying to leave just leave, and the scenarios that show up because you're in a higher vibration that are better, then you will be in a space of new possibility. So you're not here to fix external scenarios as much as you're here to change your internal channel and be on a plane that isn't in a life or death situation trying to fix lower level things, and is a space of receiving, in a space of receiving something better. The more you accept your external stuff that are negative, that you have judgment for, the more you accept those, the better you'll be at receiving much better things and moving from a place of contribution to the world and moving from a place of possibility and being in the right relationship or inspiring the relationship you're in or the business you're in. The business will just change. You know, let's say you're trying to save a business or trying to save a friendship, but you might be trying to save the friendship because you're at a low consciousness and they're manipulating you. And you're like, I don't want to lose this person because they've really convinced me that I need them. So you're sitting there trying to save this shitty friendship. Then you go to a place to connect to you and you don't need them anymore. And they might turn around and be in your connection or the right business relationship. Or you might have ideas that are bigger. In that space, you might be more creative. Almost everything we're scared to lose, many of those things you can lose and actually change your channel, right? There's still things we're going to mourn. There's still things we're letting go of, right? Of course, we'd rather have many of those things here, but many of the things we're scared to lose addictively, sometimes we need to let go of so that we can find who we are on the other side of it without it, like a relationship that doesn't align, or the wrong business, or a job that isn't fulfilling your soul. So another thing we looked at in the 6-month calls that you can look at is everything I'm doing. How many of the things am I doing? Are they fulfilling my ego, my soul, or both, right? Like there's food that's just addictive and it doesn't really expand you to eat a bunch of Cheetos. The only way it would expand you is if you've never had Cheetos, you've only eaten the healthiest shit your entire life. Then maybe you should take a bite of a Cheeto so you're not addicted to that, right? Paul Pohl says, what about money? My answer is you cannot make money nearly as well from a fear-based level than if you're an innovative, heart-centered, brilliant person that's not in fear. So people hear me say that and they go, yeah, but I got to pay rent. And I'm like, get into your heart and you'll just pay a mortgage. That's in your alignment. Because you're losing money by making money more important than your truth. If you make a relationship more important than your truth, you will lose both. If you make money more important than your truth, you will lose both. Your truth is bigger than money. It can make more money. It's more valuable. You'll be one of 20 people on the planet that is really moving forward in your truth. After my call, it'll be at least 50, I promise. The people on my calls are changing. You guys doing the stuff, you could be in the beginning of this group of people that are here to actually move into your body and be a space of safety and unconditional love and stop these people that are hurting the world from doing it because they have never felt unconditional love in their life. You could go up to these congressmen and put your hand of unconditional love on their heart and see their scared child that wants to bomb every country and get them to cry it out because they're doing things trying to prove shit. Money? Fuck money. You're infinite. You're capable of that. I know I get into this a lot, right? So ask yourself, are the things that I'm doing expanding my soul and my ego together? In other words, we should be able to change, but it should also be entertaining. Meditation can be entertaining if you allow the ego in there. You got to let the fears show up in your meditation, not just try to ignore them and get to the meditative soul-based side, but bring ego and meditation together. Bring the space for the ego to be seen. Swim in love with that, right? Be a space with the ego. Ask yourself, are the things that I'm doing in my life only helping my ego or my soul, or are they helping both? Or am I hanging out with the friends that also expand me? Am I creating and doing something I love that takes me beyond myself? So just out of curiosity, what percentage of the day are you doing things that expand both, take you beyond yourself, but also entertain you, are fun? Freedom over money. Freedom will make money. You'll be sitting there donating it. You'll be putting it into your creativity. You'll be buying shit for homeless people. You got to be in a place of contribution. You got to be in your soul. You got to do this with your flow. You do this and life goes, here's more, here's more. How can an apple tree make more apples if it's still hoarding the apples that it already has? Boom. So people are saying 15%, right? 50%. One said 15%. Now it's 85. Totally different life. How many of the things are you doing? 10%. Right. So what if after this call, and I said this at Dolby, we keep moving ourselves past it, right? So Will says, what do you mean by truth? And my answer is what your soul can feel without your mind understanding why would expand you. So creativity, Kailegoing, like you might have done at the Dolby Theater or one of our events. If you don't know what Kailegoing is, watch the Limitation Game Interactive. It's totally free on the Absolutely Everything Pass. It comes with it, right? All of our old events are on there. Tons of different content. And I'm going to keep flooding it with that. But if you don't know what Kalego is, it's there, right? So I'm searching for my passion. Donna, you're in your passion. Your purpose is not later. I know I said this at the Dolby, so I don't know how many people here went to the Dolby, but Donna says, I'm searching for my passion, my purpose. I can't see it. Meditating, but not getting a clear vision. You are purpose. Only your ego is disqualifying that and saying, my purpose is over here. Right now, your purpose is to hear what I'm saying. Your purpose at one point will be to turn off the computer. Your purpose will be to go to sleep. And your purpose will be to brush your teeth in the morning or whatever else you do. You are in purpose. There has been a curse put on the world that says you're not in purpose until you achieve something. And I'm saying you are achieving by existing. Take that in. You will always disqualify you and be in a fear-based ego place looking for your purpose. You are in purpose. Take that in. You're enough, right? Floss our teeth, yeah. One of the things we do also on the call is we're all flossing in the morning. Every call I go, we're gonna make the money back immediately because every morning we're just getting the habit next to the computer and flossing our teeth every morning. And in 4 months from now, we're gonna avoid so many damn root canals and cavities and shit, it'll pay for itself that way. You know, like just constantly being in a place of habit, right? So it's so funny because we're really doing the call and you'll see 50 people and every third person is like, ah, that's good for me, I'm gonna, right? So you can't find purpose egoically. I have a dear friend in my life named Amanda. And Amanda, I remember, was searching for her purpose. And it's so cute because I realize every time she walks in a room, everybody smiles, right? Everybody smiles. That's not in purpose. What are you deciding is purpose? Because it pays? What's purpose, right? So take that in. What is purpose? You are in purpose. You're just disqualifying it. You're in purpose. Start there. When you start from a place of I am whole, that's why there is some truth, of course, in different holy books, right? But the first thing in the Bible is that God said, let there be light. And my interpretation is We got to first be whole. Not let there be half-assed fixing. Who I am is what I achieve. Get to this place where I'm enough there. Think of what Mr. Rogers said, and everyone needs to go see Won't You Be My Neighbor, the Mr. Rogers documentary. It will make you bawl. But you are enough. You have to start there. If you think I'm not enough until I make something happen, your ego will be in. You will constantly be in a place of fixing. You will never feel fulfilled, and you'll think you're just what you achieve. And weirdly, you won't be able to sustain it. And what you are can achieve so much more. I promise you. Our business, our company is freaking skyrocketing right now. But it's because I'm not trying to ambitiously push and make everybody sign up. I'm in flow, in love with what I do, so it's safe for everybody, right? You have to know you're enough, and then you can co-create with the universe on a different dimension. Think of it this way. Most people are working in an office space trying to be the best in the office space. And there's this abandoned elevator that you're used to avoiding. And I'm here going, what's in that elevator? And you're going, nothing. I got to be the number one in this office. Let's go in the elevator. And then you finally, I'm talking this way. The elevator is you going up vertically in this different dimension, right? And then you start to see there's different floors. You can suddenly realize you're the whole building. You're not just the shit on that floor. And the most someone can achieve in their head is on floor 1 when this building goes infinite floors. And you from a whole place is infinite. You from a half fixing place thinking you're achieving shit is half of 1. And if you get into a relationship from half and you start to date someone who thinks they're half, as I said at the Dolby, 1/2 plus 1/2 equals 1/4. But when you're whole and you're with someone else whole, 1 plus 1 equals infinite. I was honored because Anita Moorjani called me the other day, who wrote the book Dying to Be Me, and has amazing stories of completely going to the other side, finding out that she's nothing but love, transcending it. And she called me and asked me to come do a thing with her. And we both started saying how exciting it was to feel someone across from us who feels complete and that they are here and they don't need the other person, but our conversation would expand each other. It would take you beyond yourself. That's what we want to do. Surround ourselves with things that take us beyond ourselves. Nature will do that. Netflix usually won't. There's some stuff on Netflix, but watching just an entertaining movie, especially one you've seen before, that's not aware, that's not expansive, can be shrinking you, right? It doesn't take you beyond yourself. It keeps your old story alive. There's a difference. So your old story wants to do all these addictive things. Your new story wants to go beyond what you thought you were. And that's what we're here to do for you. And that's what I'm here to do. Everything I'm doing is, does it expand me? I give you my word that the Absolutely Everything Pass is expanding me, is going to expand my team, and it will become this playhouse of creativity, possibility, and so many different ideas that will include you guys. We've done a thing where you can actually ask me questions that I'm going to answer, I think on a weekly basis, where I'm going to have these 5 questions to answer. This is kind of an introductory call that I'm doing, but I'm going to be just in love with building this place where we can constantly create content, constantly play. And I promise you that when you're in a place of wholeness, when you're in a place of love, when you're in a place of possibility, you can do anything. And I want you to get that you are always in your purpose, even when you think you're not. Just because you don't feel connected in the moment doesn't mean you're not loved in that moment. You're just addicted to a feeling you had before and your mind is trying to chase it. Does that make sense? I don't feel love right now. That doesn't mean you're not loved. And your job is to love that you don't feel love right now. I don't feel love right now like I felt earlier. No, you're addicted to a feeling and you're calling that feeling love. And no matter what you're feeling, you're still connected. You just believe you're not. You're in resistance to what you feel, and that's why you feel blocked. That's the only pain you have, is just a sign you're in resistance to the moment and you're judging the moment. So My offer is to remind you over and over and over again until it's your habit, until it's a normal place to live, is to remember the only pain you're in is you're in an argument with the moment. So my question to you is, do you accept this moment fully? Do you accept you, all of you in this moment? Do you accept you are a possibility? Do you accept that you are infinite? Do you accept that you're just this moment and you're loved? Do you accept every little part of you that needs to be seen by you? Do you accept that 5-year-old you that's scared shitless? Do you accept that you that has been trying to come up and say, look at me, while you're busy looking at the right person to chase and ignoring that? There's a you that needs to be seen in different parts of your body, and you just being a space and accepting all of it. Yeah, but not me. I have this thing. Accept that. Yeah, but I'm scared this. I'm heartbroken. Accept that. And you will transcend it. And the second you go from accepting this thing that you've been resisting to some sort of being with, or crying it out, or feeling, you'll be releasing. That is where the old story finally feels seen. And by feeling seen, it can dissolve into you. It'll just slowly dissolve into you, and you'll be even more whole, and you'll be even more present, and you'll be even more right here. You'll be the space that loved that little story versus the little story scrambling to be seen by the wrong person. You're never needing to be seen by anyone when you see you. And that makes you safe for them too. That makes you safe for the right people. That makes you safe for the people that don't want to play games, that want to really, truly love themselves and expand you. And I promise you they're out there. And you'll see it in the communities that we've created, in these people that you're talking to on here. You will see it everywhere. But if you're in a place of resistance, you'll never see the people that are really in a place of love, because in your ego, you'll think, what does this person want from me? And you'll resist it. And then you'll chase someone who is tricking you egoically. You're infinite. And the things that you're doing have got to support all of you. You're too amazing. You are that amazing. And this is to create not only entertainment for you and help you at an individual level in all those areas, but to change the planet. And by staying on it, we'll help so many people, and you will be the first people, this is the first week, help people transcend their judgment of themselves and start by you being it yourself. Start a movement of transcending pain by loving every part of you, because we need to create unconditional love in ourselves. And I don't mean a movement like we're going to all run out into the streets and love everybody like crazy people. I mean just the group of people being your own individual Mr. Rogers and co-creating with all of these other people, even if you don't personally know them. We're all co-workers, even if we never meet each other. We work for life. We work for truth. We work for the universe. And as Michael Beckwith said, when you work for the universe, you're never unemployed. Transcending the world. I really believe one human being can change the entire world. And I'm up for it. And I want to offer you to be one of those people too. And the world is so ripe for real unconditional love. Everyone is so in their halves, they're just looking for an enemy. It's the other side, it's the other political party, it's the other country, it's the other gender, it's the other income bracket. God, we're just dying to find enemies. And you're infinite. And if you can be the person to start out by loving every part of you and accepting every part of you, you will be able to be that space for other people. They'll release their old story, feel wholeness, and then they'll walk to other people. We can change this. And I'm in all the way. So I love you guys. I'm feeling in the pocket. That was our first, a little more than an hour. This is such real shit. We're all getting some huge information. Openness will change all this moment. This was worth so much more money. Thank you so much. You're so much bigger than money. And by the way, your contribution is just totally going into us doing this more, going to charity, going to our co-creating, going to making the world better, you know? Someone posted something the other day that I was fascinated with, and it was really hot out. And they said, we should all be getting bottles of water and handing it to homeless people. And I so love that idea. Just big, big jugs of water that are totally all sealed up and handing them to homeless people and giving them something they actually need, you know, and giving to people and feeling the flow that's so far beyond you so that you leave the small story that you're not enough. You start thinking of helping other people, you won't even remember the ego that feels abandoned or isn't enough or thinks you're broke. You'll be past you and in the world. We need to move to contribution. So we'll be talking about all kinds of different ways to contribute to the world, move beyond ourselves. That's what this is about. So I'm honored to be on this call with you. That was my first call. I think we should also post this as a great introductory call on every monthly call we do. I'll be here every month to connect to you guys. And on the next ones, I'll be answering your questions on here more. And we will also be answering weekly questions too, where I'm just going to make a video for the questions that you guys have access to ask me. And I'm so excited to just answer those questions and help you guys. I'm going to be here with you. It's not just throwing content up and leaving. This is a big thing that I'm so excited to co-create with you guys. And you guys are the first ones to be on it. We haven't even announced it to the public yet. We just announced it at the Dolby and to a couple people. Annie says, should I wear a hat? I know those are the questions sometimes people write. So it was funny. So honored to be with you guys. Thank you for being here. Kimberly and Denise and Gwen and Tracy and Lori and Ellie and Gloria and Eric and Christy and Burko, Will and Jana, Brianna. So good to see you, Brianna. I know we met on Facebook for a second, and at noon I'll reply to the last thing you wrote me when I can go back on Facebook. Amy Turner, I love you with all my heart. Jennifer, Nicole, Astrid, Joan, Donna, Ricky Powell, Lisa, Lori. If I skipped you, that's just because it's going so fast. Raina, Christy, Lorna, I love you. It's so good. And Christy, so much love for you and to Elvis. Honored to be with you and honored that you were here tonight among all those challenging situations. Seriously, thank you for joining us. I hope you guys feel good. I hope you feel inspired. And if you do, make a decision that just moves you a little higher of a percentage to expand yourself. Meaning, don't hop onto something addictive right now. Feel yourself, sit in nature, take a nap, go to sleep early, eat healthy, drink some water, wake up early and do something different and change your pattern. And I'll see you guys so soon. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful night. Drive safe to the other room.